Cappello, bring the heat.
Are we back?
I think we're back. Wow,
are we back? Or are we live?
Before we even say anything, guys, how's the video quality on this?
Guys, it's unbelievable. I know you were probably so confused as to everything that happened if you weren't like updated on our social medias. We are watching Milan versus Torino.
Yeah,
by
it's
the
in the
way,
background.
We've got it up over there. But we needed to go live, so we'll start off with what happened to us and what happened during the little break. As you haven't seen enough content from us. Yeah. By the way, the audio and visual quality should be crazy. We've got an unbelievable camera now, so hopefully it looks really good. So this is what happened with us. Unfortunately, we had a podcast on Monday. I think it was the 22nd of December, like a couple days before Christmas, and a podcast that I was not supposed to go to. I wasn't even going to be there. And unfortunately, the next day, Peter tested positive for COVID. He went to go check if he, before holidays, before seeing family, he wanted to make sure. Wasn't really feeling sick, but just went to go do it. He ended up testing positive on that Tuesday. We all, me, Michael, and Antonio, all quarantined ourselves until we got tested. We all tested. We kept testing negative, and then one day I started feeling sick. I ended up going, and I tested positive. I felt really good. To be honest, I had one bad day. Like it's wild. It's a wild thing. I was feeling amazing. You remember I was texting you? I was like working out. I felt really good. Yeah. And then at like 6 p.m., I started feeling like shit. Like everything hurt. I felt really sick. And then by the time I woke up the next day, I was good. Like so. Luckily now we've waited because I've tested negative twice. I waited. It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks today since we all started quarantining. So we had to be really safe. Of course, we're not going to be having people that come in. You know, we're already trying to keep our circles as small as possible. But for right now, after the holidays, people spreading around, things getting bad in New York. A lot of people, not just us, over here testing positive. Luckily, you and Antonio completely missed it. It was only Peter and I, we're very hopeful. We're praying that Antonio.
It doesn't affect Greek gods, guys.
Maybe not.
But Antonio had a mask on, which was good. That helped him.
Yeah, Antonio wore a mask, which is really key. But I think that we had spoken about this. I think that I lost my computer that day because I wasn't supposed to be on the podcast, and I used Peter's. And like they say a computer and like your phone is more dirty than a toilet seat. I don't know if you ever read that.
I heard that. Yeah,
it was like a snap.
I mean, you're touching on like how many times a day?
Yeah. So I think that was my big mistake. And then maybe if I didn't wash my hands diligently enough or something, like, you know, it slips your mind. You don't think about it all day. But luckily, thank God, you guys were all good. None of our families got it because we were very diligent in quarantining. we're also very diligent in waiting until we all tested negative so many times. Like I didn't even come back until I tested negative twice, which wasn't even protocol was just waiting 10 days. We ended up waiting 3 weeks.
Just to be extra safe.
Exactly. So the podcast is going to be changed a little bit. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing these in-person podcasts for the time being, at least. And if we do, unfortunately, but we're going to be spaced out, probably wearing masks. The only reason we're doing this now is because, again, I'm negative. We've all been completely quarantined. So being as safe as possible.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concerns. Like, we apologize, guys, before. Obviously, that's why we tried pushing more content. Even I did a video with Antonio because we're both negative. So even though everyone else was quarantining, we try to pump out as much content as we can. And now hopefully we're gonna start slowly going back into the grind, and maybe the podcast is gonna be a little bit different, but the video content is gonna start getting better and definitely more frequent of us posting.
Exactly, and it's we want to talk about obviously there's so much transfer market. There's so many games that we haven't covered. The upcoming Inter Juventus game is going to be incredible, and we'll definitely transition to that. So that's why we wanted to start filming this, start getting this going. We also had it's crazy in life. Like, Michael and I have been grinding on IFTV for years, waiting for some big stuff to happen. And as we announced our Campobasso deal, we were supposed to film a crazy announcement video in New York, which was going to be amazing. We had a videographer, we had everything. Unfortunately, we had this COVID outbreak amongst us, but we closed the Campobasso deal. I know a lot of you guys saw, and the support for that has been off the charts. 2021 is going to be incredible, and the works that we're going to do with Campobasso, creating a docu-series, we're going to be going to Italy so many times a year. Yeah. Antonio's coming with us. There's going to be vlogs. There's going to be incredible videos. So I personally can't wait for that, and we'll also be jersey sponsors for the next 2 seasons on Campobasso. And we have one other announcement that will be coming really shortly that's going to be even bigger, hopefully really, really soon. So that's the backstory about us. Yes, I know people are saying you're my barber. I know. Listen, I haven't gotten a haircut. You don't even. All right, we'll show them. That's all they're gonna get.
Oh, God.
Haven't been able to go.
Put like the screaming lady music on when you take off his
it's bad. It's bad. So we appreciate everybody who's been so supportive online and social media. One last piece of housekeeping before we get into this. I know I saw a lot of you. I'm in the running to become Juventus host in their Pitch for Twitch competition. I'm in the final, which will be on Friday. And I know some people saw in the chat and they were surprised to see me. We obviously didn't make the announcement because, number one, I was going through COVID and I wasn't really around. Number two, we just didn't want to say anything too much yet. We didn't really film a podcast where we could talk about it. But I appreciate all the people who jumped in. I'm sorry to all those that were mad that I didn't tell them. And if you guys could help support that Friday, it's a personal dream of mine to do something like that. I think 11-year-old Marco is like freaking out at the possibility of that. And I know there's some people that are not Juventus fans, and Mike, you're not a Juventus fan, but just happy for me and happy for that the journey. You guys come on a journey with us. Yeah. We're 2 guys that didn't want to live like do a normal job, didn't want to follow the route of everybody else, and we started creating this path on social media and in Calcio, and this is part of that journey. So even if you don't support Juventus, even if you're a fan of another team, I appreciate everybody that's hoping that I win. It's going to take things to the next level. So if you can, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. Come help support.
Guys,
we appreciate
help
everybody.
Support Marco. Marco's a Serie A fan, but he definitely grew up a Juve fan, and this is always something that he wanted to do, doing something with Juventus. So it'll mean a lot to everyone, even if you're not a Juve fan. You could see someone supporting their team even from a young age. So definitely hook Marco up. Go in the comments, spam it. Say Marco's in the final. This is a big thing.
I'm up against Giuseppe too, who's amazing.
He's
so good.
Also very great contestant.
A friend outside of just content. So I appreciate it. And I know for the non-Juve fans, you'll laugh. All the Juve fans, they don't like that I've given like Milan credit and Inter credit. So they're saying like I'm not a Juve fan, but it's fine. So I just appreciate everybody who's trying to help support my dream and support the going forward. Guys, can we talk Calcio? Obviously we got Milan today.
We're finally back.
Mike.
Oh, Mark, when's the last, what was it, 3 weeks you said? The last time we were like doing a video together
live podcast. We did the Zoom one, which was shit.
Yeah, that was
bad.
Horrible. We didn't want to keep doing that. We did it one just because because everyone kept asking, but it was bad.
It was horrible.
It was really
It was
bad.
hard. I would much rather do this.
Exactly.
And then
So now we're back. Sick camera, nice lights. We're back in the thing. We got 2 crazy games coming up, right? The first one being Derby della Capitale, Roma versus Lazio. Cappello brought up a little quote, actually. He was saying Roma are in better shape, maybe slight favorites. But this is a derby. You can't knock this out. Form usually goes out the window for these kinds of things. And I think this is going to be a great one. Roma are toe-to-toe. They're really competing for the Scudetto this season. They're doing amazing. Their attack's so good. Mkhitaryan signing extension. One of the better players that they signed, not just in Roma, but in Serie in general.
Yeah.
And Roma are clicking on all aspects. We're giving them a lot of... we were giving them a lot of shit in the beginning of the season, but they really zipped our mouth. They're doing amazing stuff, and we're really cheering on Roma so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Roma has definitely been underrated. Probably one of the more exciting teams to follow
Attacking
in terms
football.
of the way that they play and the way that Fonseca has his team running. Really exciting. Obviously, a huge fan of what they're doing, and I'm happy because they have stability again. For Lazio, it's been kind of a weird season. We know how things have gone. I think that Lazio has, and I don't want to be controversial, I don't want to push too much, but in my opinion, I feel like Lazio in the big games, they do turn on. There's something that comes in, and not just this season but in the past, for some reason I feel like they get going. And a derby, form goes out the window in a sense where it doesn't necessarily matter what you've done in your last game against Sassuolo or whoever it was. When you go into there, that the whole city's going to be there. Yeah. It's probably going to be a derby with no fans is not going to be the same, but it's still on paper. It's going to be really exciting. And I think it's probably one of the best that we have because Roma, in recent memory, one of the best in the past decade. So exciting times, exciting teams, and hopefully we get a lot of goals. What's the second game, though? What's the second game that you're talking about?
Okay, before I go to the second game, thank you for the donation from Adzi John. They said the quality of the video is amazing and clear voice. Thank you for the donation. We're always trying to improve at IFTV. Always criticize us, please, because we always take that criticism and we always try to make IFTV better and all that stuff. But Marco, you're saying the next game.
Yeah, I want to hit one thing, and I don't want to talk about it too much. What you're saying about criticism, I see this guy Adam Juve 1897 says Marco isn't a Juve fan. He acts like a fan, so he's the Juve guy for his channel. I mean, just one thing on that, and I completely understand. I know how these kind of things go. For me, and I know people have said, "Oh, Marco, you're not a real Juve fan." I like to call things as they come. Like whenever I've been on this podcast, I own a business that relies on Serie doing well and a good look for the league and benefits from teams doing good. And I have to call it like I see it. I've always been a fan. Growing up in New York, it's different. So I understand the people that, you're from Italy, you understand the rivalry, you never give respect. But for me, the way I've always seen it, I like to give when Milan for me is the best team in Serie A right now. So I will say Milan right now, you are the best, and the whole season you're in first place. You deserve respect. And I understand for some Juve fans, they say you should never give another team credit because you're a Juventus fan. You should say only Juventus is good. I see it a different way, and I know some people say, "Oh, that means you're not a true fan." I see things differently. I think that we could see the scope. If you ask anybody in my life, they know exactly what fan I am, where I root for. But again, when Europe comes and when good football comes, I'm a football fan. So of course I give credit. So that's just it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay. I just want to put it out there to be safe. Juventus, Derby d'Italia.
Derby d'Italia. It is called the Derby of Italy. And by the way, I just want to say,
you learned Italian when we were gone? You learned Italian? That's really good.
I was going to build up on
That's really good. That's really good.
I feel like we got that question. Why is it called that? I'm not sure if you know. Do you know why the actual meaning got coined that?
No.
So when it was, I don't remember the year. I suck at year. I barely remember the year I was born. But just in general, when at the time they were close, they were the two Italian teams with the closest amount of Scudetti at the time, and they were the best teams. Okay. I forgot the person that said it, but they're the one that coined it, the Derby d'Italia, because at the time they were the best teams in Italy, and that stuck from there.
Nice. So I like that.
The more you know.
I like that. And this game is very. It's so fierce. It's so fierce.
It is.
I think both for Juventus and Inter fans, and I think that this year it's really level. I obviously Juventus, since we left, things have changed. They obviously had a great win that pushed them forward and really exciting, not against Sassuolo, obviously. They got the win, and that's important. 6 players could be out for Juventus, which is not, which is a big deal, of course.
I have it here. I'll say it quickly.
Yeah, say it.
Sandro, Derli, Cuadrado, Dybala, Chiesa, and McKennie.
Chiesa and McKennie might make it.
Yeah, it's day to day, but the rest
be.
of them are are gonna be out for that game.
Of course, no excuses from either side, but I think just, Juventus' momentum is starting to get a little bit better. Obviously, from Inter too, there's been a lot of. Okay, I'm a Juventus fan, but to give Inter credit on where it is, I think there's a lot of negativity from media on Inter right now. And I understand that, people are saying, oh, they're favorites to win, and I get it. But sometimes, okay, for example, if they win a game that they didn't play great, right, but they scored the goals and they got it, you'll see people criticizing Inter saying, oh, come on, forget about Inter. They won this game, but they didn't play that great. But on the counter, Juventus last year or the years before, they don't play great and they win, and we say, oh, that's a test of a true team. That's a test of true winners. And I say it also because, Antonio's been in our group chat, and, when Inter just get a scrappy win where they score and they don't play great, he writes right away, oh, look how lucky you are. But for me, I don't see it like that. I think that Inter's a really strong team. They need to improve. I definitely agree. Against Roma, lack of concentration, not scoring in important games. They're very Lukaku reliant. I think he can't even stay out a game. I think Lautaro needs to step up. So I'm very okay with criticizing and saying the truth. And I think Conte is very hard-headed. And if he learned to adapt a little bit more, I think he'd become really a world-class coach. So that's just one thing over there. So going into this, there's a lot at stake because both are considered favorites to win the Scudetto. Obviously, along with Milan, you could say Atalanta and Roma are in that mix. But I would say that Inter and Juve before the season were looked at as the favorites to win the Scudetto. Both seasons have been a little bit strange going forward with it. Milan have popped out that we didn't expect them to be in first place. So, of course, Milan are Scudetto challengers. But this is a real test. Juventus at times have lacked hunger, have lacked heart, have lacked quality, have lacked an understanding of what this season means. You go and play against Inter, you need to make a stance. In the reverse, for Conte and for Inter, you need to do the same thing. In the big game last year, Inter were considered one of the favorites too. When they played against Juventus, they did not perform.
They folded.
Inter folded last year when they played against Juventus.
Right.
They never looked good. And Juventus did the opposite. This year, if Inter want to win the Scudetto, you have to come out and you have to beat Juventus. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. Just wanted to say, the guy that criticized you, Adam Juve, he actually donated, so it seems like he appreciated what you had to say, which is, what do we want to do at the end of the day? Marco, whatever, whoever's... You could be a fan of someone, but you can also give credit to the opposite team.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Adam, thanks.
Thank you, Adam.
I think
and you don't have to send it.
That's a piece. That's like a piece one, right?
I just like to have open.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, you could criticize. I'm definitely going to be wrong at times, but I think there are times where too, you hear one thing that I say, and it's easy to just run with it and think that that's who I am. But anyway, clarity. So
moving on for like you were saying for the derby, Juve are kind of a lot of their starters are gone, and to me, this looks like if Inter cannot beat this injured Juventus team, could they really win the Scudetto? That's my question right there.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
I think if they don't pick up the 3 points, that says a lot about Conte. That says a lot about if they could manage it, if they have the mentality to do something. Inter, on the other hand, pretty much have a full squad. So you can't complain on that aspect of it. My question is, could Conte do this? We've talked about in the past how Conte kind of folds in the big games. Even when he was coaching at Juventus, he kind of fell a little bit for the big games in Champions League and stuff like this.
In Champions League, yes.
What do we think here?
To bounce that, the criticism was that Conte, and Peter was even open about this.
He didn't have the funds.
No, not that. Peter was honest about this. In their last game against Roma, they're winning and they pull back and they play defensive. And Conte already said it's normal when you're up that you want to drop back and a team is not going to go forward. And you see a lot of big teams these days, Bayern Munich, the guys that win in Europe, they go for that third goal. Mm-hmm. They go to keep pushing. And that's what Peter felt hurt by, was like, at Inter, you need to keep pushing to not just hold on to that 2-1, because then uncharacteristically from Skriniar, who's been a top defender, makes a mistake and you go 2-2 against Roma. So I do understand that perspective from Conte, but at the same time, I do agree. You have to have that killer instinct. And this year, for Inter, if they want to push with all the things that are going forward, they need to come out and have that hunger. They can't be content with getting a tie. They can't be content with being 1-0. Of course, it's Juventus. Of course, it's against this. Injuries, no excuses, though, at the end of the day. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to see an even battle. And the best winner, I think that this will tell a lot for the Scudetto. I'm going to be honest. I really think that this will tell us who's got the mentality, who's got the ice in their veins to go on and win.
Does Conte have anyone else to blame if they don't get the 3 points here? Is another big thing.
I mean, no, I don't think I don't like to hold on to that. I think a season will be judged in its whole, but I do want to see. I want to see both from Juventus and Inter that fire in their eyes, where it's not that we're playing to be safe. I don't want to see playing to be safe. I want them both to understand the importance of this match. That if they want to win the Scudetto, they need to be going forward with this.
Wow.
Mike, what's our next topic?
Next thing before we go, Azijon, thanks for the donation again. He said he's from New York. Yes, our studio is located in New York. It's actually in Brooklyn, so we're actually neighbors. But moving on to the next subject, this quote just happened recently. Casillas actually said something about Donnarumma too. He said, in my opinion, Donnarumma should play at a club with more tradition. My mistake, AC Milan has tradition. I mean more importance in Europe right now. I don't know why he said this.
It's completely irrelevant.
I don't know why he said this. This kind of bugged me.
Bro, he's looking for attention. Where is he? Does he play at Porto? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't that bug you? Why are you going to say this to a 21-year-old guy that's building at Milan, that's doing incredible right now, the most informed team in Europe, and you come here as a legend and say that stuff? Like, dude, what the hell? You don't have anything better to do? You're criticizing a kid that Milan's building right now. Okay, they weren't what they were 10 years ago, but they're trying to build something great over here.
I think Casillas has not been relevant for years, and I mean, he retired, they're saying. Yeah, didn't he have a health?
Retired?
Yeah, he had a health problem, I think.
Sure.
I think he had some heart problem or something. So whatever. I don't know. For me, it wasn't really relevant to talk about. If that's his perspective, fine. I have a perspective on him and his challenge with Buffon for being the best that I'll save for a time that a Real Madrid fan provokes me.
That bugged me. But next one, I want to talk a little bit about the Mercato and more specifically Papu Gomez with Atalanta. Cool. I think there was a lot of question marks if, Atalanta's Capitano, he's not going to be there. Could Atalanta do something? Could they hold their own? Could they find a new leader?
Say the stat.
And yeah, that's where I was going to. This first of all, they scored 18 goals in their past 5 games without Papu, and this season so far they scored 19 goals with Papu Gomez, and without him, they scored 21 goals. So it shows that Atalanta obviously don't rely on him. Without their captain, it seems like Ilicic really picked up as that leader role. Ilicic looks like his old self. And Atalanta seem to thrive without him. And Papu Gomez is on his way out looking for a new team. To be honest, I didn't think they'd be able to do it. But they're doing, it seems like, on paper, even better than when Papu Gomez was there.
No, I mean, I think it goes back to what Antonio's been preaching for a long time. And obviously, we laugh at Antonio and we joke around with him. But some of the things he says are serious and about Atalanta being a system. We've seen year in and year out their players be picked apart, and they're able to pop one in and pop one out really easily. And that comes down to Gasperini and the model that he built, which is incredible. And I think that Papu Gomez was the one question mark, because Papu Gomez is not just somebody that you plop in and plop out. He's a creative guy. He can create magic out of nowhere. He does something on the fly that's truly beautiful and truly incredible. But at the end of the day, this is why you're going with this is why you're keeping Gasperini and selling Papu Gomez. For Papu Gomez, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, you should have had a team by now. You should have had something sorted. Nobody knows where he's going to go. He's linked with Fiorentina now.
Inter.
I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I think they're just waiting for the right offer. Are you surprised, by the way?
How does he have no offer?
No, I'm saying the biggest offer. I think that Atalanta's waiting till they get the biggest offer. They don't want to sell him quick. And he's training by himself with the Primavera right now. What do you think about Papu? Are you surprised with Papu Gomez, how they're performing without him?
No, I'm not surprised.
At all? I was in shock, to be honest. I was like,
I said they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're completely fine.
I mean, they're still killing over here.
What else we got?
But okay, moving on to the next thing. A quick thing, actually. Kevin Struman, remember him at Roma?
Yeah, I got no comment.
Yo, he's going to Genoa. Genoa, not bad.
These do not excite me at all.
I was excited for Genoa, and just in general, I was like, wow, he went over there. How come?
Because they try to get you excited. Like they
They're
try
like
to get
the
you
big name
excited.
signings?
Yeah, they're just one of those big things. And then if the guy doesn't, whatever happened to what's his name from Ajax?
Shona.
Yeah.
Shona.
I mean, yes, it sounds great.
He's
We
leaving
get
or
excited. I don't want to talk about it. No, for me, no.
Wow.
I'd rather see like some young guys that really develop and come through the youth system. Where are we grabbing? Where was he playing before?
Marseille, I believe, in France.
Okay.
I mean, if he wasn't doing good there, so it's gonna be tough. Okay, moving on to the next one. Fabio Cappello had an interview. He's talking about Inter a little bit. He brought up Conte has no reason to demand new signings, especially because Inter were eliminated from Europe. Every coach would be happy to be in charge of this Inter side, and I think he said it too. Also, another thing that's going to correlate, Sunil, thanks for the donation. He also said Inter can't have excuses with the depth, no other competition. But if Milan played like this with everyone out, AC Milan, Inter, Juve are all title contenders.
So about the Cappello quote, Cappello's been in the Italian media, and I've been watching all the clips, really criticizing Antonio Conte. He's gotten into fights with even Bergomi, who's an Inter, not fights, but debates with Bergomi on Sky, where Bergomi said, you guys are putting too much pressure. You're saying that Inter should win. You're saying this and that. And Cappello even interrupted because Del Piero was like, listen, the pressure's on Inter, the pressure's on Juve, and the pressure's, I believe Del Piero, don't quote me, but I think Del Piero said it's a little bit less on Milan, or maybe he did say that it is on them. But either way, Cappello interrupted him and said, no. Not only is the pressure on Inter, your favorites to win the Scudetto. So I understand Cappello's perspective in a sense. Obviously, Cappello and Conte had on TV, they had the argument where they didn't agree. They didn't see eye to eye. And so there's some blood, I think, between them where they're not agreeing. By the way, side note, I've been watching a lot of Cassano, Bobo TV, which is with Cassano and Adani and I don't remember who the fourth guy is.
It's like Sky, right? Before they got kicked off.
No. Well, he didn't get kicked off Sky. He got kicked off Tiki Taka.
Oh, Tiki Taka.
Yeah, so they created their own show on Twitch. And honestly, Cassano is truly a gem to be appreciated. We mess around a lot on IFTV, and sometimes we make fun of Cassano just to mess with Antonio. It's like the friend that you have. Sometimes Mike, he messes with me about Juventus. Not that he believes it, but just to you want a reaction out of somebody,
exactly.
you know? So that's what we do with Antonio, with our Antonio. And I've been watching Cassano, and the great thing about Cassano, he's a very smart guy. He's very smart. It goes unnoticed. His eye for football is really amazing. The way that he could break down how a player plays or how a player can come in and young players and this stuff is amazing. And he's trying to be a director for that. But he's got what's most needed right now on the internet. He has the entertainment factor. He says things and he is honest and authentic. You know exactly what you're going to get with Antonio Cassano. And it's refreshing. It's so refreshing to watch a guy who's, had an incredible... Okay, he's got a very good career. Yes, he's very highly rated, right? Yeah. And say his honest opinion, no matter what. He's an Inter fan, and he'll bash Inter. He'll bash Conte. He's not scared that, these guys are going to yell at me or they're going to criticize me.
He says it straight.
He says it honest, and we don't always see that, right? Yeah. We don't see that today.
That's why we kind of respect. A lot of people just talk and so they don't get criticized, but he just says whatever's on his mind, which is good at the end of the day because you know how they're feeling.
It's fine to disagree. Honest. Like, I'm totally okay. Certain things that Cassano says, I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, I'm still happy because he's saying his honest opinion and he's exciting. And he messes around. He talks normal. He's like one of the boys. So it's a lot of fun. If anybody speaks Italian or wants to listen in Italian, catch some of the clips on Bobo TV. Also, Dybala, we said that he's injured up to 20 days with a knee injury. Really unfortunate as, he was starting to get going with Juventus. We were hoping. He's close to 100 goals with Juventus. He's like 2 away. I know because we're about to have our graphic ready. And then unfortunately, he got hurt. Vlahovic, also I'm going along on our Instagram, 5 goals in his last 6 games, and he's equal to his tally from last season.
Yeah, he has 6 goals.
Starting to pick it up.
Less than half the season, he has 6 goals. All of last season, he has 6 goals. And I just want to bring back your dad actually coined him. He said he was
my dad exaggerated.
No, he
My
did.
dad
He said
exaggerated.
last season he didn't have the best one, and we kind of poked fun at Gaetano,
Yeah.
be like, yo, what happened to your boy strike that's supposed to be good? But he seems to be pulling form. He seems to be scoring. So, and what is he, 19 years old? 20 years old? So he's very young.
My dad said he never watched him miss a shot in training.
In training, yeah. He said, watch out for him. He's like, he's going to be good. And we're just
He
like,
completely
okay.
exaggerated. He put him as his breakout player. I don't remember. Something like that.
We'll give him another year
The
or so.
Juventus women, they beat Fiorentina in the Supercoppa final.
that's right.
2 goals from Barbara Bonansea. She's an absolute
From that
beast.
Zuri, if you guys remember, for the World Cup, she was scoring a lot.
They're currently undefeated in the league as well. So shout out to the Juventus women. Got to cover them and got to push that forward because obviously the game is trying to grow over there and in Italy, and it's an awesome thing. So we want to be IFTV. We want to be on that side, pushing things forward. So if you guys want more women's content, let us know. I want to learn and I want to get excited by it. It's very hard to follow, extremely hard to follow. So that's one thing that we've taken pride in being Serie A fans that know what's going on, that watch what's going on. We don't just see something and then, read it and not give our opinion on it. We like to try to be like an expert in it. So we're talking to a few people who could become experts in the Serie A Women's League that could help us so that we could broadcast it to everybody. I want like a surface level of understanding what's going on.
For sure.
That's what I
I mean,
want.
guys, if you want to see more content, we'll be more than happy to learn more about the women's team and post more about it. And Mark, you're talking about the Supercoppa. I want to move back to the men's football a little bit. There's De Laurentiis. He has some hot takes sometimes. He actually tried postponing the Supercoppa against Juventus that's coming up because of the busy schedule. And ADL, you're not helping your case. You tried postponing one time against Juventus. It was successful. And now you want to do it again? Juve, at the other hand, are pretty much stripped with a lot of their players. And now ADL's complaining that's busy and saying all this
Zlatan,
stuff.
right
By the
over
way,
the
we have
bar.
the Coppa Italia in the background. I don't know. I feel like I have no pity for ADL trying to postpone it. It got denied, by the way. It's still going to go forward. And, I don't know.
I agree with that. I agree with everything that you said. No. Yeah, I mean,
dude, how many times are you gonna try to postpone something? Genoa went with half their team was Primavera players, and you got a couple injury. Come on, you can't be a president.
But he wants it for different reasons. It's not because
it's
of
a tight
injuries.
schedule.
Yeah, and also because didn't he say like he's hoping that they could get fans like in May? I think that's part of like the reason. I agree though. I think we got to play the game. If that's what the schedule has, that's what we got to do. One other thing that I'm seeing as we go down, I have to say that I was wrong. I will put my hand up, and I'm extremely content with saying that I am wrong.
Say louder.
I'm wrong. I am wrong, and I am proud.
Clip this. This is my new.
That's
ringtone.
fine. That's fine. See, I have enough confidence in what I say that I can admit when I'm wrong, and I have no problem in doing so. And I tweeted it out too when it happened. Federico Chiesa. I said that he was not needed at Juventus. I doubted the move. I said financially it kind of made sense because they were getting it on like really good terms, but I didn't think that he would become a really good player. A lot of it having to do with Kulusevski, who I thought was going to break out a lot more. And I think we saw in the beginning of the season, Kulusevski broke out and Chiesa was on the bench. And now we're seeing the reverse where Chiesa's playing and Kulusevski is not. He's coming out. Chiesa was phenomenal against Milan. I mean, that game was truly amazing. And what surprised me the most is that Chiesa's attitude is really, really good. I mean, he's got a great spirit about him. He feels like he's got the Juventino inside of him where he wants to fight and die for the shirt, and he's done really good in the position that he's playing in. And I think that in a time where Juventus has needed people to step up, he's shown the character to step up. And obviously I was messing with Anto in the group because he continues to say Chiesa's a waste. And don't get triggered by that. That's just Antonio not being able to put his hand up and say when a guy is good.
He does that for everyday life, by the way. So don't take it too seriously.
Exactly. He's never going to go back on that.
Yeah.
But I was definitely wrong, and I've been pleasantly surprised with Federico Chiesa. At such a young age, to join a Juventus where the pressure is on, he's done an incredible job, and I'm very impressed with the attitude that he's had. The 2 goals were phenomenal. They were intelligent. They were beautiful. The link-up play with Dybala in the first one was great. And Theo Hernandez was one of the best in the league. Had a really, really poor time matching up to him. So credit to Federico Chiesa on that. When you're wrong in life, guys, you just got to say it how it is. Any other topics, Mike?
I think we hit most of it.
Chad, if you have any questions for us before we go, Let us know. We're still checking out this Milan game. We're gonna post this obviously as a full video going down. I'm really excited for the things that are coming. I think number one, thank you for everybody that supported on the Campobasso. That's truly amazing, and to see how excited you guys are. Antonio and I actually FaceTimed a kid the other day. I didn't even tell you when we were doing it. I posted on. Sorry, never mind. Antonio posted on his page video saying like if you put his Campobasso song as his ringtone, that he'll FaceTime you. And so this kid DM'd us a video saying, "Look, I did it," and he showed me. So I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, dude, if you want, like, I'll call you and I'll call Antonio." So I ended up calling the kid. He's from Jordan. It was 3:00 in the morning, and he was staying up, and we had a nice conversation.
That's awesome.
Him, I, and Antonio, and really incredible. So, and he said Forza Campobasso on there. He's like, Campobasso is my second team after AC Milan. So it was really beautiful. And Antonio yesterday told me that he's been talking to the kid nonstop. They exchanged a number because Antonio was
They're
like
pen pals now. Right?
Antonio was like, all right, this kid's good. You give him my number so that I could talk to him. So he told me he's a very intelligent guy. We're talking all the time. So really a lot of fun. We are planning our trip to Campobasso. Obviously with COVID, regulations are tough to go around. So we're trying to sort all that stuff. But once that happens, we're expected to go really soon.
Yeah, for sure.
We would have been going now.
We want to go as soon as possible. Like Marco was saying, guys, thank you so much for the support. Before we head off, I just want to say one last quote, and this is actually. I don't think Marco saw this, but goes back to what Marco said a while ago.
What didn't I see this? What didn't I say?
So there's a quote from Conte earlier that said, "We've had time to work tactically with Eriksen as a low-lying regista in Brozovic's position. I expect great answers from Eriksen in the
you're
position
lying.
tomorrow." So, guys, this is fairly new. I sent it. This is being made, by the way.
I said this.
That's why I said it.
But Conte said he would never do that. He said he can't play there.
So
I'm the maestro. Remember that. I'm the maestro.
Marco actually said this, I think 2 or 3 months ago. He was saying he should play him in front of the defense. When was it?
A year ago. I said it before Eriksen joined. They said the only place that he could play is the regista.
You said because like Pirlo or dropping like Pirlo or something?
Yes. Because he didn't have that intensity to play like that.
Conte might be not so stubborn as we think. Maybe be like, okay, before Eriksen leaves,
you're wrong, Mike.
Before we sell him, maybe we'll try and use position, and if he likes it, maybe he'll stay and transform him under this whole inter formation and what do you call it? A Conte ball.
Mike, I love you. And for the people that don't know Michael on like a personal level, he's got a beautiful soul. He lives life with an incredible optimism. That's Michael.
What's wrong?
He always sees things very optimistic. I will tell you what this is. This is not him not being stubborn. This is not him not trying to sell.
What is it?
This is not being Marotta going into Conte's office, slapping him and saying, "You find a way to play Eriksen." Because a couple months ago, Conte said, "I will not play, nor can he even try to play as a regista." That is not Conte going back on his word. That is Inter management saying, "We spent a lot. Nobody else is taking him. Figure out a way and at least try to play him in that position."
But they had that for over a season. Why are they doing this now?
That's how stubborn he's been, that he's not even tried.
You don't
in that
think
sense.
they can get money for Eriksen, dude?
I think it's hard right now. I think it's really hard. Really hard.
20-30 million? I'm sure they can find that thing.
No way.
What?
With COVID, bro, everybody's taking back money, and they're going to spend it on Eriksen, who's a risky player.
Eriksen's supposed to be a beast. I think they can make some
but he
money
hasn't.
So you don't. So you'll find no truth
This
behind
is not,
this, and you don't think anything
they
could
will
scrap from this.
No.
Well,
the quote, I already said that he should be a regista.
No. I'm saying Conte's view.
This is not Conte's idea.
Okay, that's
this
what
is
I'm
the opposite of Conte's idea. This is Inter management telling him you must do this because we have no other solution.
So it's not him trying to revolutionize and try something new.
Absolutely not. And it's not revolutionary. It's not revolutionary at all. Let's not go crazy with our words.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see for the derby. Imagine he starts him in that position.
Thank you to Sunil. He said for your donation. He said problem with Chiesa or Kulusevski is inconsistency. Yeah, absolutely. I think Chiesa is starting to show a lot more consistency in his game. Kulusevski did great as a substitution, of course, beating his man and following Pirlo's guidelines. But definitely,
I'm surprised that I feel like Kulusevski's been more of the consistent player, and I'm surprised he hasn't really cemented as a starting 11 for Juve, to be honest.
Well, the thing that I was always scared about is that they're similar to me. Like
they are similar.
I mean, Kulusevski has already said that he doesn't like to play in the position that he's been. He likes to be closer towards the goal. He doesn't want to be on that like wide side.
Wing, right?
Chiesa's a little bit more willing to do that. He's a little bit more willing. We saw him at Fiorentina even playing the 3-5-2 as that right wing back, where he likes to drop back. He likes to sacrifice for the team. Of course, yes, everybody's saying Kulusevski is very young, and yeah, definitely. I mean, this is not what we say right now. Like again, and this is when you judge a player. We're here to talk about what we see. It's not about projecting the future. It's not about anything other than right now. Just because we say Kulusevski's not doing good in this moment does not mean that he will not do good. Nice save from from Milan over there. By the way, I'm surprised Milan are not up in this game a lot easier. Kulusevski needs to use his right foot. That's one thing that I will say. Chiesa, if you noticed, on both the goals, right foot and left foot. Kids, if you're out there, I said this on the Juventus Twitch channel when I went on. It is important to get both feet good. Any little kids out there, study, work on your right foot, work on your left foot, because the instinct from Chiesa that he showed to score both of those goals was truly awesome and amazing, and it shows a lot from him. Guys, I think that's it. That is the podcast for right now. We are going to try to add Antonio and Peter into the my dad. You guys, you're not gonna see my dad for a while. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Marcos, that's very precautious and very
he showed up. He showed up here with 2 masks and a visor.
Yeah.
So he's not coming to the podcast anytime soon, and hopefully he's trying to get the vaccine by as soon as possible. After that, then we'll probably see him back. Antonio and Peter are more willing, and obviously we'll take proper precaution once we get them back.
But guys, bear with us.
Yes,
we're trying to make as much content as we can. Now me and Marco are both healthy. Well, I've been healthy, but now Marco's healthy. We can both be in the same room together. Podcast might not be the same for a little bit, but it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. And guys, the quality. I seen everybody in the comment section. For the person that asked, I'm sorry I didn't say it before. Sony A7III triple I. That is the camera that we're using. Guys, please, thank you. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys. We'll
hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Michael's going to turn it off. Until then, guys, drop a comment, drop a like,